Welcome everyone. I'm going to get started at maybe 1 or 2 past the hour, so we give a chance for more students to log in here. But if you are looking for the How to Prepare for a Virtual Career Fair workshop, you're in the right place, and we'll get started in just a few minutes here. Welcome everyone. For those of you that have joined in the last couple minutes, we're going to give it maybe 1 or 2 more minutes for people to join the meeting, and then we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I might pause because I'm going to be letting a few more people into the waiting room in the next few minutes, but just some housekeeping really quick. This workshop will be recorded, so just so that you guys know, you will be getting a recording of this video sometime tomorrow. I'll email you if you registered for the workshop, and so you can review it later if you'd like. It'll also be uploaded to the Career Services YouTube page along with all of our other workshops that we've done in the past. So that's a good resource for you guys to check out if you want to just look at some of the other workshops that we've provided in the past. So the purpose of this workshop is to help prepare you guys for our upcoming virtual industry career expo on September 30th. So as you can imagine, this year, the expo is going to look very differently from how it has in the past. So I'm really glad that you've decided to attend this workshop, because in order to be successful at this event, it does take a little bit of preparation beforehand. So you're definitely in the right place, and this information will all be available on the Career Services registration page, or the Career Fair registration page. So don't feel like you have to memorize all of this right now, but it is a good idea for you to just become acquainted with how to prepare for a virtual career fair. So just really quick, if you could type in the chat box that you can see my PowerPoint, that would be really helpful, because I want to make sure everyone's good to go. Awesome. Lots of yeses. Okay. Cool. Also, if you guys have questions throughout the presentation, you can type them in the chat box, and then I'll have some time at the end where I'll read through those questions and answer them out loud. You'll also have an opportunity at the end if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question. We can also have a conversation at the end. So I'll try to go through quickly so that we have some time at the end for Q&A. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first things first, the date of the virtual career fair is Wednesday, September 30th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time. So I'd like you to mark your calendars for that date. And what's going to happen is you need to register for sessions with employers before that date. So you're going to have a schedule all ready to go on the 30th. And then you're going to go into the system and launch your video for your group and one-on-one sessions, and I'll go into what those are. But this is the date of the actual event where you'll be engaging with employers, but it's important to remember that there's some work that you have to do beforehand to schedule appointments with employers.
Prescott, this thing, this 7:38, it's a Prescott, right? This one?
This is for Prescott, yes.
Okay, not for Daytona, okay.
Nope, not for Daytona. Okay. Really quickly, I just want to give you guys a quick video so you can get an idea of what registering for sessions is going to look like.
Hi everybody, I'm Brinton, and today I'm going to be sharing 3 reasons why Handshake's new virtual career fairs are your ticket to getting hired this year. Virtual career fairs are very different from traditional in-person career fairs. One of the biggest benefits is that there's no waiting in line. When you register for a virtual fair on Handshake, you actually sign up for specific session times with employers that you're interested in connecting with. As soon as your school opens up registration for a virtual career fair, you can see which employers are attending and view available sessions. That way, you can start planning your day ahead of time and signing up for the sessions that you want. There are group sessions and one-on-one sessions where you can chat directly with an employer ambassador. Both are awesome ways to get to know potential jobs and future career paths. Attending these sessions with employers at your school's fair is super important because it helps you stand out and connect with their team. The employers that are attending these fair sessions are already interested in hiring students like you at your school, so why not put yourself out there? Making a personal connection during these sessions helps show your interest in the employer and can add a boost to your application. Thanks for watching. For more tips and advice on virtual fairs, head to our blog at learn.joinhandshake.com. I'll see you next time.
Okay, so that hopefully gave you a bit of idea of what the signing up for sessions is going to look like, either on your phone or on your desktop. But I wanted to get into the two options that you have for engaging with employers. So you can sign up for either group sessions or one-on-one video sessions. So for group sessions, I don't want you to think about these as information sessions. They're actually kind of the same idea as standing in line at a career fair and engaging with employers in the sense that you're going to get information on what the types of internships and jobs that they have available, and you're going to have an opportunity to submit your resume. So what happens when you sign up for these group sessions, each one is 30 minutes long. You'll be with other students in the session, and the employer will be able to share a presentation or share what they are there at the expo for, what type of opportunities they have available, and then that employer will receive a report of the students that attended the session, and they'll be able to view their resumes and their handshake profiles. So any group session that you attend, the employer will receive your resume. There are no prerequisites for students to attend these group sessions, so you can sign up for as many as you want. The employers have the option of either capping the sessions at 50 students or using an external link or external video link to have as many students as possible. So this is a really great opportunity, especially if you're new to career fairs. I would definitely focus on these group sessions right here. You'll have the opportunity to ask your own questions either through the chat box. You'll be able to share your video or share your voice, kind of like in a Zoom meeting. For one-on-one sessions, these are each 10 minutes long, and you don't have to share your video, but it's intended to be a one-on-one video with an employer representative. Employers can set prerequisites for these one-on-one sessions. So if you don't meet the prerequisites, it won't show up as an option for you to sign up for them. But for any employer that it says one-on-one sessions are available, it means that you meet the prerequisites and you're good to sign up. And so this is why it's really important to make sure that your handshake profile is filled out completely so that employers know if you meet the prerequisites or not. Employers, you might notice that they send you messages through handshakes to invite you to one-on-one sessions. That's definitely a good indication that the employer is interested in contacting you or in engaging with you at the fair. So just to recap, group sessions, your resume will get to the employer, but you'll be attending with other students. No prerequisites required. One-on-one sessions, these are a lot more limited. Each one is 10 minutes long, and they have prerequisites, so these are going to be a lot more limited to students. And it takes a little bit of preparation because, again, it's one-on-one for 10 minutes. So it's almost like a mini interview.
So I have a question for this one. One-on-one sessions will be prioritized to seniors?
No, so there is no way for, so it's a free-for-all. For whoever students sign up first, they get it. Although the employers can set prerequisites for who they want to sign up, they can't reserve it for certain students.
Great, then.
Okay, so there's 4 big steps that you need to take to prepare for the expo. And we're going to go through each one of these during this presentation. So the first one is you need to complete your handshake profile because employers will be able to view your profile before, during, and after the expo. You also want to upload your resume to Handshake because employers can download your resume if you attend either a group or a one-on-one session. You also want to register for the fair and research employers beforehand. Registration is going to open the week of September 21st, and we are going to stagger registration so that seniors have priority for those one-on-one sessions. And then after you register and research who you may want to sign up with, it's time to sign up for group and one-on-one sessions. And as long as they don't fill up, you can sign up for sessions up until the day of the expo. But once the session starts, you can no longer sign up for it. So you just have to sign up for it before it begins. So it's going to be a good idea, since some students may sign up for sessions and then cancel later, to check back in every day and see if there's new sessions that might be available to sign up for. Okay, so first you need to complete your handshake profile. Recruiters are going to use profile fields to find students to invite to their sessions. So we don't want an incomplete profile to keep you from being discovered or make you look like not a qualified candidate. So you want to make sure that the basics of your profile are correct so that your major, GPA, and work authorization are correct in the system. You don't have to list your GPA, but remember, if an employer lists it as a prerequisite for their one-on-one, let's say they want 3.0 or higher and you have a 3.0 or higher, it's important that you would list your GPA. It's also important that you select the job types, locations, and roles that interest you, because those are fields that recruiters use a lot to search for students on Handshake. And if you go into your profile on Handshake, basically fill out everything that's there and you'll take care of all of this that I'm going over right now. You don't have to upload a profile picture if you don't want to, but sometimes it's nice for the employer to know who they're interacting with. So if you do choose to upload a profile picture, make sure it's a professional photo and not like a photo that you would upload to other types of social media. This is really important. So in order to participate in the virtual career fair, your privacy settings on Handshake need to be set to either community or employers. If it's set to private, employers won't be able to view your profile and you won't be able to participate in the fair. So most of yours should already be set to community, but it's important just to check, just to make sure. And I'll go over this. I'll go into Handshake and kind of show you where to find these, but basically on your homepage, if you click on your initials here, you're going to go to settings and privacy, scroll down to privacy and make sure it's clicked to either community or employers. Next, you need to upload your resume to the system. So tips for uploading your resume. If you've never had a resume review with your Career Services Program Manager, I highly recommend to check out the Resources tab on Handshake. Check out the resume templates and make sure that your resume matches the resume template. We're going to be reviewing a ton of resumes, as you can imagine, in the next few weeks. So just because we approved your resume on Handshake doesn't mean it's an A+ resume. It just that it's maybe a C or higher. So just make sure that your resume looks good before you upload it to Handshake, and just realize that we're approving most of them so that you can participate in the fair and it's not an actual resume review. For most college students, you want your resume to only be one page. There are some exceptions to that, but for the most part, you want to keep it to one page. You want to upload it as a PDF and not a Word document so that the employer, when they download it on their end, none of the formatting gets changed. You also want to save your PDF as your first and last name, because if they download a group of resumes and you just uploaded your resume named resume, there's going to be no way for them to distinguish you from other students. So this is a good rule of thumb anyways. For all your resumes, when you're applying to applications, make sure it has your first and last name. And then I can go over this in a second, but if you've uploaded multiple resumes to the system, you need to go to your list of resumes in Handshake and checkbox the one that you want to be visible to employers. This is important because let's say you've only uploaded one resume to Handshake and it was to apply to Raytheon, and your resume says, the objective of this resume is to apply to Raytheon, and then it goes out to every employer. That's not going to look good at all. So we want to make sure that we have a general resume that's visible to all employers and that you choose to select the correct one. Okay, third step after you've completed your Handshake profile and uploaded your resume is to register for the fair and research employers that are attending. So let's go over the student registration dates. So on September 21st through the 22nd, Prescott seniors, that means graduating December 2020, May 2021, or summer 2021, and all graduate students will be able to register for the fair. The way that we're going to figure out whether or not you're a senior is you have to fill out the graduating student survey. So if you have not yet filled that out, I want you to go to your email, search for an email from Kevin Hewardine, our director, and there should be a link for the graduating student survey, and that will get you on the list for priority registration. On the 23rd, if you're not a senior or graduate student, all Prescott students and alumni will be able to register for sessions. And then on the next day, on the 24th, all Embry-Riddle students, including Daytona Beach and worldwide students, can sign up for sessions for our fairs. So as you can see, it's really important to log into Handshake on the day of your registration date and sign up for your sessions before they start filling up. And it's worth mentioning that you as Prescott students can also attend the Daytona Beach Virtual Career Fair, and I'll go into registration dates for that as well. So there's actually 2 virtual expos that you can take advantage of this fall. Okay, so how to register. This should be pretty simple because you're going to be bombarded by emails from me with the registration link. But if you just go to Handshake, it's also very easy to register from the system. So from your home page, you can click on events up here or events down here. And then from events, I would filter by only career fairs. And then you're going to scroll down for the one that says Embry-Riddle Prescott Fall 2020 Virtual Industry Career Expo. If it's before your registration date, you can click this little box right here to save it for the future. And then it'll show at the top of your list in the future, which is kind of nice. You could also do that for the Daytona Beach one. And then you would click on that link. And then if you go to that page right now, it's going to say not qualified to join because it's before registration has opened. But on 8 a.m. Pacific time or Arizona time, same thing up until November, that button right there is going to change to a green button that says register. And then you'll be able to click register, and then you're registered for the fair. But remember, after you register, you also have to sign up for sessions with employers. So you have to both register and sign up for sessions. You can research employers before you register for the fair, but there at the career fair page, there's going to be a list of the employers attending. So this is just a snapshot, and then you can click on show all. Right now we're up to 50 employers. You could also do that for Daytona Beaches if you want to research ahead of time all the companies that you'll be able to engage with this fall. Okay, so let's go over, once you register, how you sign up for group and one-on-one sessions. So once you register, you'll see a list of the sessions you can sign up for with each employer. And there'll be a little tab right here that says available sessions. And then as you can see on one tab, it'll say group sessions and one will say one-on-one. One-on-one sessions are only going to appear if the employer chose to schedule one-on-one sessions and if you meet the prerequisites for the one-on-one sessions. So once you choose, let's say you were interested in this company right here and you wanted to sign up for their group session, you would click on that link right there, and then a pop-up box would show up and you could pick a time that you were, okay, so for this one, they clicked on one-on-one. You would click the time that you would want to register, and then you'd click confirm, and then you were scheduled for that time with the employer. You may attend as many sessions as you like, as long as their schedule times don't overlap. And again, any students can attend group sessions, and employers may require prerequisites for one-on-one sessions. I wanted to go over a really quick virtual career fair etiquette. If you sign up for a group or one-on-one session, it is very important that you attend. If you sign up and you realize later that you can no longer log in at that time, you need to go into the system and cancel that session as soon as possible, because as you know, there's going to be a lot of students vying for those sessions. So it's really not fair to the other students if you sign up and decide not to attend. It also looks really bad to the employer, and they're going to have your name that you had registered and not shown up. So you definitely don't want to make a bad impression to the employer. And it's also going to reflect badly on the school if a bunch of students sign up for sessions and then end up not attending, and it might leave a bad taste in the employer's mouth, and they may not want to come to future expos. So we know this is kind of a new platform, so I just wanted to make sure that you understood that if you signed up for a session that you were definitely committed to attending, and it's definitely okay to go in and cancel the session, but we just want to make sure that you're just not a no-show. We can also run a report of the no-shows as career services in addition to the employers. Okay. So once you've registered and signed up for sessions, it's important to prepare for the actual day, because there's going to be some stuff that you want to know for the actual day of the expo. One thing you want to do is for the employers that you signed up for sessions for, you want to research them a little bit so that you have educated questions that you're asking them and you leave a good impression. So yes, you could prepare a list of questions you may want to ask during group sessions. If you're registered for one-on-one sessions, remember those are 10-minute sessions. So you're going to want to prepare an elevator pitch, and I'll go over a link of where you can prepare that. You want to prepare, some talking points of what you want to talk to that employer about, and maybe some questions that you can ask them so that you can fill that time. Because remember, those one-on-one sessions really are mini 10-minute interviews. A couple other points for the actual day of the expo. You want to dress professionally. Even though this is a virtual career expo, you have the option to be on video for the group and one-on-one sessions. And I would imagine a lot of you would want to use video to make it as engaging as possible and as similar as a real in-person expo as possible. So remember, just like a virtual interview, they're going to see what you're wearing. So you're going to want to dress in business professional on the day of the expo. You want to find a quiet spot and a neutral background. I know that's probably getting harder and harder on campus as places in the library are a little bit more like limited for the amount of students that are allowed to be in there, but maybe find a spot in your dorm and make sure your roommates know that this is important and you need them to be quiet for those 30 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever you've got scheduled. You want to arrive on time. So if you're for both group and one-on-one sessions, I would definitely be there at least 5 minutes ahead of time. There's also going to be an opportunity for you to test your audio and video beforehand. That way you can make sure everything's working okay before your session starts. And then for both group and one-on-one sessions, when you're on video, you want to make sure you maintain eye contact with the employer and practice active listening. So remember, just because you're behind a computer screen doesn't mean an employer can't take note of things like body language, things that are also important in an in-person career fair. We went over this before, but bring a list of prepared questions for each session. And this is important. The day after the expo, it's important to view and apply to open jobs or internships with the companies that you engaged with in group and one-on-one sessions, because a lot of them are at this expo because they've opened up their internship or job openings right around this time, end of September, early October. Okay, test technology ahead of time. So for the most part, this should be pretty easy and it's not going to be too difficult, but you do want to make sure that you have a reliable internet connection on the day of the career fair. And you want to make sure that you have speakers, a microphone, and a supported device. It can be a built-in or USB plug-in or a wireless Bluetooth if needed. If your laptop doesn't have these things, I'll show you, but you can download the Handshake app and you can also participate on your phone if that's an easier way to do the video and audio. If you want to do video, you need either a webcam, either built-in or USB plug-in. You can join a session 5 minutes early to test your connection, which I think is a good idea. And one of the links on the guide, which I'm going to share with you guys, is going to have a troubleshooting list in case you do have trouble on the day of the fair. There's some things that you can check to make sure everything's okay on your end. Supported devices is either desktop web, iOS app, Android app, mobile web. Handlick strongly recommends desktop web or native mobile apps for the best experience. So don't go, if you're going to use your phone, make sure you download the app because it's going to be you're going to have trouble if you use your mobile web. Also, Safari hasn't worked great, so I would definitely recommend Chrome or Firefox for the best experience. Downloading the app, if you don't have a laptop that you trust for video, you can download the app on the App Store or Google Play. You just search Handshake and you look for the symbol right here. It's also good for you to have in general because a lot of stuff that we do in career services is through Handshake anyways. So you might want to have that downloaded anyways. Okay, so you've prepared, You've signed up for your sessions. Now you log into Handshake on the day of the fair. What do you do? So what you're going to do, you go to the career fair on Handshake, which I showed how you get there earlier. It's also going to show up on your home tab on Handshake. It's going to lead you right there because I don't want you to get confused. And then you're going to click on your sessions. From that tab, it's going to have your schedule already populated in there. And then at the time of your session, you can just click launch video. And then it's going to pop up the video. And just like Zoom, you can mute, unmute yourself. Same with your video and with your audio. I definitely recommend logging in 5 minutes early to test your audio and video connection to make sure everything's going okay. Again, I'm going to share this link. I'm not going to go to it now, but you're going to have a guide that's going to have this link to learn the common solutions for technological difficulties that you may encounter. Again, I don't anticipate that you encounter them, but just in case, you can check that list. If you're still having an issue, it's probably on the side of Handshake. So there is going to be a report a problem link, and you can type it in, and then Handshake is going to check it out and see if it's something on their end and fix it for you. If you have other difficulties, usually it's going to be an issue of internet or video, something like that, that you need to fix on your end. Okay, like I mentioned before, the one in Prescott is taking place September 30th. You can also attend Daytona Beach's Expo, which is going to happen on Tuesday, October 13th. Their registration opens on October 1st. So the registration and signing up for sessions is going to happen exactly the same way as Prescott. So you're going to have really great practice. And definitely, since our Expo registration, the number of companies attending is down, the way to engage with the most amount of companies this year is to attend both Prescott and Daytona Beach's fairs. If you're a student that's also interested in graduate school, we're having a Handshake Graduate School Fair on Wednesday, October 21st, and registration for that opens on the 14th. Okay, and then this is going to be included in the guide that I will send everyone in the next coming weeks, but it's just some really good links. Handshake has been working really hard on this, and they have a lot of great help center articles that you can use. So that's going to be on the guide if you wanted to check that out on your own time. Okay, really quick, I wanted to leave the PowerPoint and show you how to get to show you some things through Handshake to make sure you understand how to do this, because sometimes screenshots can be a little difficult. Can everyone see my desktop right now? A couple of you could just, yes. Okay, cool, thanks. Okay, so in case you've never been into Handshake before, if you go to Ernie, it's single, I gotta sign on. It's single sign-on. So once you sign into your Ernie, oh please, okay, good. I have it saved to my favorites. If it's not showing up on this first list right here, you can click on all tools. Click on Handshake. And I'm logged into the student view right now. So really quick, remember those first two steps are to complete your Handshake profile and upload your resume. So the way you complete your profile is you're going to click on your initials in the upper right-hand corner and click on My Profile. And then you're going to fill out all of this information until you reach 100% completion. What's really important here is to make sure that your degree program is correct. And if you want to be considered for some of those one-on-ones, you may want to add your GPA right here. Your interests, I know a lot of students don't fill this out, but a lot of employers actually use these search fields to find students. So even if you don't really have cities that you particularly are interested in, you can list as many as you want. And I would definitely fill out these interests because it's more likely that you're going to be reached out to by an employer. So we're going to fill out your profile. If you already have a resume uploaded, you can select your resume from this list and it'll build your profile from your resume. So it saves you even more time. I want you to go to your privacy settings and privacy, Scroll down to privacy, make sure you're set to community. Next step, you're gonna upload your resume. So you're gonna go to documents, add a new document, and make sure you add a document saved from your desktop that's saved as first and last name, saved as a PDF, and remember, 1 page. After you do that, on the day of your registration date, you're gonna click on events, filter by career fairs, click on Prescott. That'll say register and you'll be good to go. But even before you're able to register, you can scroll down to the bottom, look at all the employers that are attending, show all 47 employers. There's also some really great information on this page. It shows the registration dates again. And also, if you click on this PDF, it's this PowerPoint, but 4.0. It has a checklist of everything you need to do to prepare. And if you click on each one, it's going to take you to the correct page to make sure you've got all of this. And I mentioned like the troubleshooting, it's got that. So it's got everything you need on that registration page. Oops, I don't know why that happened. Okay, I think that's most of it. So I know you guys probably have a lot of questions. So we're gonna spend the rest, if you feel like you got what you needed out of this session and you're gonna review this guide on your own, feel free to log out. But if you wanted to stay in to ask questions, you can type it in the chat box, or you can start talking to me and I'll listen.
Just have one quick question. Will this, can we just use a video as well? Like we're going to be using a video, right? Between that, it's going to be face-to-face as well, right? Not just audio during the expo, right?
Yes. Yes, the platform allows both audio and video.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Have a good one.
You're very welcome, yes. Okay, let's see. Okay, are we gonna know what employers will be at the career fair before the registration opens? Yes, great question, and I just showed you. So from the career fair page, even if you're not qualified to join yet, scroll down and it says employers attending, and you can click on show all employers, and you can filter by what they're looking for, by their location. You could also follow the employer. It's gonna have a brief description and it's gonna link you to their website, I think. Yeah, if you click on their logo, it'll take you to their website. It also shows some of their prerequisites, so you can kind of know ahead of time whether you're going to be eligible for their one-on-one sessions. And once a new employer registers, because they can register up until the career fair, so keep an eye out. We're probably going to get more registrations, so definitely come back and keep checking this out. Oh, and thank you, Xander. I believe you are correct as well. Is there a way to double check whether we have completed the survey or not? Austin, if you want to shoot me a quick email, I can check for you. I can't remember off the top of my head if you filled it out, but I think you did. What should I place on education if I am a freshman? So let's go to the profile. So actually, Austin, that's a good question. A lot of this education section is actually automatically updated once a week from our Campus Solutions platform, which every student is on. So if you go to your profile, it's probably already going to have your the university, what your degree program is, and when you started. It's probably not going to have your graduation date because it's going to say to present. If for some reason though, when you apply to the university, you didn't apply to the right major, you want to go in and definitely change what your major is in the system, but it should already all be set up for you. If you are a transfer student or went to a community college, you can also add different schools. I don't recommend including your high school, but that's how you change your education section.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I think like I have a similar question like Austin's. I don't know if it's what he was trying to ask, but like, so say now I'm a junior, but at the time of that internship, if I was applying for summer 2021, then I would be a senior, right? Because I just finished my junior year.
So, when are you graduating?
2022.
Okay, so you're a junior.
Right.
Um, so it doesn't list does it list what school you're in?
It doesn't in that section. I saw it somewhere earlier today. It was asking me to fill it in somewhere, but I don't see it on my page. But it asked me what year student I was, and it actually had already had me set as a senior, which I thought was weird because I'm a junior at the moment.
Yeah, so that gets confusing because it does an automatic update once a week. The way Embry-Riddle places you in a school year is actually based off of the amount of credits that you have, and it includes your transfer credits. So there's actually a lot of freshmen that'll appear as a senior in the system just because they have a lot of transfer credits. So what employers really are looking for is your graduation date. So if you wanted to go in and just change that end date to May 2022, that would give them a better idea that you are a junior.
Okay.
In general, having a higher status, like appearing as a senior, will only help you, if that makes sense. So it's not a bad thing.
I am also curious. So on the section we're on now, while we're here, there's department GPA and cumulative GPA.
Yes.
Do we? And it's the option to hide, and they were both already hidden whenever I made my handshake page.
Okay.
Would it appear better to have them both showing, both hidden, one showing?
For 99% of you, I would just put your cumulative GPA. For some students, like I have a lot of companies will have that 3.0 GPA cutoff. And so for some students that in their engineering GPA, they actually have a 3.0, but their cumulative is like a 2.9. So in that case, I would hide your cumulative and put your engineering GPA. And there is a way for you to check that on your campus solution. If you had questions about that, you can shoot me an email and I can look it up for you because sometimes it's hard on the student end to look it up. But that's what that means. This is all of your classes, and this is just your classes that that are related to your degree program. But for you, I would put cumulative GPA.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, for freshmen and GPA, I would leave your GPA off for now. As a freshman, they know that you don't have a GPA yet. So I definitely wouldn't put your high school GPA. I would just leave it off for now. How can I access messages if an employer was to message me? Great question. So messages will show up right here. I actually get messages sometimes from employers. So this is a good example. Bridget wanted to email me about a Lockheed Martin event. So it's going to show up here in your messages. It also will send you an email to your Embry-Riddle account when you have a new message. And then it'll just have a link to bring you right here. And then once you click on it, there's a really easy way to message them back like that. I'm a transfer that's been to multiple colleges and held many jobs. Is there a way you recommend narrowing that down to one page? So Brendan, like I said, most students will have a one-page resume. Sometimes it is appropriate to go to 2 pages. For example, I have veterans that have like extensive experience before coming to college that warrants 2 pages. I recommend at that point to email your career services program manager for a resume review and let them decide based on what they're reading whether it should be cut down to 1 page or whether it should be at 2. It's hard for me to tell without looking at it. What kind of information should we research about employers when preparing for the career fair? Great question, Travis. So in general, I would go to their website. I would know where they're located. I would know what their main products are, what they do. Another good thing to do is Google them and look at what they're in the news for recently. A lot of employers like if you know kind of, oh, in the past week you had a big merger with another company. They like you to be aware of new information like that. But really, just some kind of basic information. What employers don't like at career fairs is a student coming up to them and saying, "What do you do?" They want you to at least know what they do as a company and what their products are. So bare minimum, that's what I would research about the companies that you will be engaging with. Can freshmen attend this? Do employers tend to talk to freshmen? So yes, employers will talk to freshmen. Whether they have internship opportunities for you will depend on the employer. Obviously, as a freshman, you're going to be competing with juniors that have more classes under their belt and maybe more experience. So in general, it's harder for freshmen to get internships, but I think this is a really, really great opportunity for you to get practice now, so that when you're, well, hopefully next year they won't be virtual and it'll be in person, but it's still a really good experience to practice so that you become more comfortable as a sophomore and junior and you kind of know how to do a career fair. There are companies like Gulfstream who have registered that hire rotational co-ops, and they do hire freshmen. So there definitely are companies that hire freshmen. And I definitely do encourage you to attend. And if you're kind of new to this, which I assume you are, I would definitely recommend attending the group sessions for this year. Is there a way we can see what the prerequisites will be? I don't think there is. And this is annoying to me too, because I also can't see them as career services. But what I will say, Zachary, is I'm the one that's organizing this and is talking to the employers, and I'm encouraging them, if at all possible, to put as little prerequisites as possible so that as many students can participate in the one-on-ones as possible. So there isn't a way. I did see, you can see when they registered what their preferences were, but that's different from what they selected for the sessions, but it can give you kind of an idea of what they're looking for. So if you go to employers again, so for example, air transport, they're looking for interns and jobs. That's the particular title that they're mostly looking for, full-time, part-time. So you can look at that. Again, that doesn't necessarily line up to what their one-on-ones are for, but it definitely gives you an idea of what they're looking for. So what work authorization can I put if I'm an international student? So that would be what type of visa that you have. That's what you would put. And if you have questions about that, I would reach out to the SIPS office. They can help you with what you should put right there. If I'm a transfer student, should I put my GPA from my old university? So Brandon, what I would do for that, so if you're in your education profile for Embry-Riddle, I wouldn't list a GPA, but then I would add a school and add the school you transfer from, and then list your GPA from that school. If I worked on a project as an intern but is not published, would I still put that in my projects category? Absolutely. Actually, I'd put that in your work experience, and I would list it as an internship and not a project. Project experience would be more like school projects or club projects that you've worked on. Should we include all of the courses we've taken on the Handshake profile or just a few? I would list all of I don't know what degree program you're from, Savannah, but I would list the degrees that are most relevant to your degree list the courses that are most relevant to your degree program. So if you are an engineer, I wouldn't put calculus, physics. I would wait until you've reached like statics, solids, thermodynamics to start listing those heavy duty courses. What's the best way to go about getting interviews to the career fair? So Travis, as much as possible, I would sign up for one-on-ones, because that gives you a one-on-one time with the employer and 10 minutes with them. So if you, as many one-on-ones as you can get, those are kind of mini interviews. So I would sign up for as many one-on-ones as you can, and as many group as you can, because as many groups as you sign up for, those are the employers that are going to be receiving a report of your resume. Like it looks like it logged me out. Do you recommend speaking to an employer even if they are not looking for your job title? Yes, I do, because what happens often is someone in like an administrative assistant or someone in HR will be given the task to register for the career fair, but it's not necessarily the representatives that they send to actually participate. So a lot of times the person filling out the registration really doesn't know what the employer is hiring for. So we do try to get that as accurate as possible, but sometimes employers are looking for completely different titles than what they list on the registration. So in general, if you're interested in the employer, definitely talk to them because they can often get you in touch with the right contact, even if you're not interested in the department that they sent.
I have a question really quick, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, I know, I guess I have two, but one for like, you know how like some airlines have like cadet programs or not necessarily cadet programs, but they'll like, I guess they're doing what we're doing here is they'll hire you as, you know, maybe a sophomore or a junior. And then once you're done, you'll have a job lined up for you. So when does that typically happen? Because I know it's really hard to get internships as a like pilot, I guess, because you can't fly the plane as an internship. And so just kind of confused on that.
So that would be so I work with the engineers mainly. Are you a freshman?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore? Have you ever talked to Darren Hudak?
I have not, no.
Okay, shoot an email to Darren Hudak. He's your career services program manager that works with the College of Aviation. He's going to be a lot more well-versed on the pilot side of things. I don't really know how it works on my end. So shoot him an email, set up an appointment with him. He'd be more than happy to walk you through that.
Okay, and then my second one was actually like regarding my classification because I came in as a transfer and I asked like multiple people as kind of far as like what I would be considered as because I have my private pilot's license and I also have 25 credit hours, and so some people thought that I was considered a sophomore and then some people thought I was considered a freshman. So I was wondering if you had like any information on that. I know it's a kind of a broad question, but
So it should be on your student center. Like, do you know where you go to register for classes?
yeah.
On that profile, do you know what it lists you as?
Last time I looked, it was a sophomore, but
Okay, so then Embry-Riddle designates you as a sophomore.
okay, alrighty.
Okay,
Thank
can
you.
you, yeah, you're very welcome. Can you register for both group sessions and one-on-one sessions, or you can only register for either? So you can register for both, and you can register for as many as you want, as long as the times don't overlap with one another. I'm a graduate student at Daytona. Can I participate in the career fair on October 13th? Yeah, so yes, you can participate on October 13th. So what the October 21st fair is for students that are interested applying to graduate school. So you're more interested in attending the 13th one. Noah, that would, again, would be a good question to ask Darren. I'm not sure from the aeronautics side. Okay, it looks like I went through the chat box. Does anyone have any other questions that they would like to speak?
When will we be able to find this recording afterwards?
When will you be able to find it online?
Yeah, will we be able to see it later? Or?
Yes, I'm going to email this to everyone that was attending tonight, and I'm also going to post it to our Career Services YouTube channel, and I'll send you guys a link to that as well. Okay, so that's a good point to end on. So I know we just went over a ton of information. I'm going to email you this recording tomorrow when I'm logged in again. But it's important for you guys to remember that if you go to the career fair page, events, career fair, click on the career fair. At the bottom, the student instructions guide is super, super helpful. So if you ever just like want, you know, honestly, I might, if you're serious about this career fair, I might just print, actually I wouldn't print it out because it has some good links on it. Save it to your desktop, and just reference it when you're ready to start registering and go through this checklist. And if you ever have a question, chances are there's a link down here to answer your question. I'm also here to assist, but I also worked a long time on this guide, and it really has everything you need to know on it. And Handshake Help Center is also really helpful. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna go, if no one has any other questions, I'll go ahead and log off. If you have more general career services questions, make sure you know who your career services manager is and email them, set up an appointment with them. We're here to help you. So I'm Laura Polk. I don't know if I introduced myself at the beginning, and I'm sorry, but my name is Laura Polk. I work with the aerospace engineers, mechanical engineers, space physics, astronomy, and cybersecurity students here on the Prescott campus. So if any of you are my students and you have follow-up questions or need a resume review, shoot me an email. I'll help you, or I can also hand you off to one of our very excellent student peer advisors. I think I saw, yeah, so if you're good, you go ahead, log off. I think there's some more questions coming in, so I'll stay on for a little while and answer some questions. So Demetrius, you said that one-on-ones that some employers reach out to you. What does that mean? So all I mean by that is that employers are able to search for you before the expo. And so some employers are very proactive and will search, like, I'm looking for a junior aerospace engineer that has this GPA, and they'll send out individual messages encouraging you to sign up for a one-on-one with them. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just, it's important to make sure your profile is complete, because it's more likely that an employer will message you. Getting a lot of thank yous. You're welcome. You're welcome. GSIS, reach out to Darren Hudak. He is your career services program manager. I'm going to put his email right here for you, Savannah. DRU. Just because I'm not as familiar with that degree program, I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. And that's for the aeronautics student too that had that question, the pilot. Darren, there's his email. All right. Thank you guys so much for attending. I'm going to go ahead and log off now.